Hello and welcome to 5-Year Club video number 365. My mind is blown that I actually have made it to video 365. And certainly it has not been perfect. I missed days. I'm not proud of all my videos. I've had to make up a lot of videos. I've done many of the videos when I'm very tired at night. And, I think after the first 50 or so, I struggled, to feel original. And I just struggled to handle my life and handle these videos at the same time. But I knew that that was going to happen. And I knew I wanted to force myself through, it's almost like an eating contest, where whether you want to or not, whether you have something to say or not, you're going to come up with a video tonight. You're going to do it. So I feel good about that original decision of I'm going to do it this way. A lot of people did not understand why I would do it that way rather than doing one higher quality video per week or something else. But for me, I think it's the daily practice. It's the habit. It's doing it so much that you become so comfortable with it that you're not even thinking about it anymore. And that was kind of my goal. I wanted to do it so much that that I had habits around it where I didn't think about it anymore. Me not like to think. All right, some statistics. People have watched 41,000 minutes of video of me this year. That's about 683 hours. I'm sorry. So we can compare that to about 2,000 hours. I think on my final paycheck it said 2,080 hours is what I worked this year at my job. So 683 hours on YouTube of people watching me, 2,080. It's by having these videos, I am manifested in this second job, helping people, or at least trying to help people, and trying to encourage people to save money, trying to let people know about and educate people on topics that it would be more difficult for them to find the article themselves, right? How are dividends treated by taxes? Who knows that? Unless you specifically look it up yourself, you're not generally going to come across that fact while browsing Netflix. So it's 41,000 minutes, 8,800 views, 59 of the luckiest subscribers on YouTube. Thank you very much for subscribing. Thousands of unique people have seen my ugly mug at this point. That's pretty cool. I would not have been able to reach thousands of people, I think, without a platform like YouTube. And so yeah, those are kind of some of the high level stats. If you were wondering, so that's about one subscriber a week ish. I mean, this hasn't been a viral channel, clearly, and I don't care because it's a channel where I'm focused on the right thing, and I think that with some changes, I can eventually reach many more people by maintaining integrity and giving good information and focusing on helping people build net worth instead of helping people to get another credit card in the long run. All right. So that's it for the stats, but for my takeaways from it, right? What are the high-level things that I have learned or had pounded into me over the past year from doing this? Number one is nobody cares, right? And that sounds kind of harsh. And in fact, I read something 25 facts that you should listen to from one of my Facebook friends. And the nobody cares one is in there is that as an adult, nobody cares. They've got their own stuff going on. So they don't have time to care about your stuff. So that cuts both ways, right? On the one hand, nobody cares Lewis is spending an hour or more every day preparing for or filming financial education videos on YouTube. And most people are like, well, I was watching Netflix. Who cares? But the other way that it cuts is that, like, if I screw up on video number 73, nobody noticed. And the people who did notice don't care. So it's like freeing, because it means that you can go out and you can try something that you're nervous about, and it turns out that, like, you can spend an entire year doing it and have 365 videos, and there isn't any substantial social cost. That's not emotionally clear when you start the process, but it's true. Nobody cares, which means that you can take a lot more risks than you think. If there's something that you're not doing with your life that you wish you could spend more time doing, but you have some kind of hang up about it, that hang up is probably bullshit. Because nobody cares. You're going to start doing it, you're going to do it badly, people are going to be unimpressed, and then you're going to keep doing it for another, 10,000 hours until you're really good at it, and then magically, you'll be a talented success. But in the meantime, nobody cares. So, you're not going to get a huge encouraging following, but you're also not going to be eaten by a horde of zombies. Number 2, nobody is coming to save you, right? If the longer article about age discrimination earlier today didn't kind of pound it home, a year of researching and reading articles on financial health indicates to me that you and me and us as individuals will need to solve this problem for ourselves. There's no help coming from anybody else. There's no help coming from the government. There's no help coming from an inheritance, which, frankly, if you're depending upon that, the statistics say you'll probably screw it up and blow it. There's no help coming from other random people. Like, the evidence is overwhelming that there are significant challenges getting to financial independence, retiring. There are significant challenges just in life, like figuring out how to get enough money to pay for yourself, to pay for a family, and there's no magical fairy or fact or single thing that's going to solve that problem for you. It's going to be you. It's going to be you setting aside time to make it happen. Now, on the plus side, if you do set aside the time, the gains are exponential. If you do learn about it and read some books about it, it's not that you double your net worth. Your net worth is 100 or 1,000 times larger. So there is a very real and very predictable payback from committing time to this topic on a regular basis. But you have to commit the time. If you don't commit the time, nothing's going to happen. If you don't have a plan, a written plan for how you're going to retire, retirement's not going to happen. Number 3, what I found is if you seek out help, you will find it. So, again, no one's coming to save you, but if you want to save your own ass, people will help you if you go out and talk to them and say, look, here's the problem I'm dealing with. I'm trying to figure out these 3 sub-problems. What do you know about any of them? Or who do you know who could point me in the right direction? And I've discovered in my job search and also just talking to different people about, like, what can I do better with this YouTube channel, I've gotten really good feedback. And granted, I haven't made like many of the changes that people suggest, primarily because of time constraints on the channel. But I know way more about what I need to do after 365 videos and talking to people than I could figure out by myself. And frankly, with some of the job search stuff, I'm kind of blown away a little bit by how helpful people have been, and because it's not their job, it's going to be my job, and that job kind of necessarily benefits me, and they will tell me stuff that would result in me making like, I don't even know how to say it, like 50% more money than if I was just doing things with my own assumptions, or doing a job that's 50% more satisfying. I don't know. But you'd be amazed when you talk to people, especially on the job front, how we all get so narrowly focused on whatever we know about jobs right now. And when you talk to people, it widens your view, and there are some really shiny objects just outside of your current view that when you see them, you're like, whoa, really? That's amazing. All right. Number 4 thing I've learned, making quality content takes time. It takes effort, sure, but it takes time. And with my goal being to make a video every day, to make 365 videos, I have not had the time to make content that is at a quality level that I'm happy about. I don't regret that because that wasn't my goal, if that makes sense. My goal was simply to put a dedicated amount of time every day for a year to make this happen, not to produce content where I'm proud of every single video. But doing this for 365 days and learning more about video editing and seeing the cadence of reading about a topic and then having to explain it to people, and seeing different levels, paying attention to other YouTubers and seeing different levels of like how funny people are, like how many jokes are in their video, or can you read off of a screen and not sound monotone. All of these little details, it's hard and it takes time. And certain things, like if I do a video in the morning, it's likely to be a much better video than if I do it at 11 or 11:30 at night. And what that has told me going forward, and I've known this since pretty early in the year, is that if I want to significantly increase the quality of my channel and of the content in my channel, I need to spend more time per video. So for 2019, I'm definitely dialing back things to maybe 1 video a week, maybe 1 video a month. I'm not sure what the right level is yet, and I don't feel the need to determine that right now, because making videos is something I want to do in 2019, but it's not the top priority in 2019. A different priority has taken that. Image and style, actually, I'll just tell you. Image and style. I'm not, I'm like creepy, dark neckbeard guy in my living room. And so next year is going to be focused on something that I am utterly bad at, which is image and style. It can take all kinds of forms that I'm uncomfortable with. And that's, for me, what annual goals are about. They're about doing something that I'm uncomfortable with and stretching myself. And so hopefully you'll see a much more handsome man. But only like 2 times next year, because it's going to be a lot fewer videos. All right. And finally, what I've learned most recently from this channel is that I can get 100 times the views making a video on YouTube if that video is responding to another video that has a pretty woman in it, compared to if I just make a video from me that's saying, here is how you can increase your net worth by a few $1,000s. Right? Entertainment on YouTube is so much more important than objective facts and learning. YouTube is about entertainment. People want to see things that give them dopamine hits. And I got to say, on the one hand, it's a little bit sad for me, because it's like, really? I've done videos that are 45 minutes long where I've put so much effort into trying to make the video factual and sequential and detailed and a complete presentation of an idea, and they get practically no views. And then I do this one video, which is just me critiquing some really bad financial advice, and I've got 100 views just on that video within like 2 days. And it's like, oh, come on, really? That's how life works? But apparently that is how it works. And so what that's telling me is that paying more attention to my topic and to search engine optimization and to how these videos are going to be found, I could have gotten 100 times more attention this year if I had put more effort in those areas rather than some of the other areas that I have put effort into. So that is something for me to focus on and really spend more time on. Just like I tell the channel, spend time on personal finance and on planning. For me, I have to spend time on viewership planning. How am I going to reach more people with this content that's going to help them grow their net worth? If I don't reach them, the videos, what's the point? So, holy moly, that video has 2,000 views now? Laura Pitko and Velocity Banking? Oh, that's insane. That's crazy to me. But that's how life works. All right. Yeah, so that's what I've learned. And so on the plus side, there's a very direct way to do it. I know what the plan needs to be. I just have to set aside the time to think more along those lines instead of thinking along the lines that I'm used to thinking, which is like, what are the facts? Clearly lay out the facts. Do not say something that isn't accurate. Well, it doesn't matter if you're accurate or if you're inaccurate if no one's even seeing the video, right? Anyway. All right, well, this is it for video 365. I hope you enjoyed it. It will soon be 2019. It's 7:42 p.m. California time right now. So thank you so much for joining me on this channel. If you've seen any of my videos. If you haven't seen very many of my videos, go back and look at some. You will for sure learn something new. And if you look at the early videos, I mean, those will tell you how to retire in 8 years, 10 years, 20 years. And knowing the mechanics of how your savings rate impacts your financial freedom, that material is probably the most important thing I've ever learned about personal finance, and also probably the most important thing I've covered on this channel. So go look up 5-Year Club videos that include the word savings rate, and if you don't already understand that stuff, you will benefit a lot from it. It will be super profitable for you in the long run. Have a fabulous evening.